Anyway, hate to be a little drum, but I just, I've been watching a couple of news articles this weekend and last night, and the country's really getting crazier and crazier. So, and I'm saying the same thing in hopes to get people's attention, because we need to have a united middle class. A united and healthy middle class creates a strong America. And you have to listen to who wants that to happen and has ways of making it happen. And then we need to vote people in and vote people out according to their strengths or weaknesses. And it's going to take some time to do, to get finally a handle over our political system, because we have no handle over this. And the founding fathers gave us this. We owe it to them. They weren't perfect people, and they were elites, but they at least saw that this country, the middle class of this country, needs to run the important issues directed by our politicians. And just like you have a head of a company and you have the crew of a company, if that's not going right in a company, one or the other, that company goes out, right? Well, this country is much, obviously a whole different scenario, but it matches a bit, because we're on the way to communism right now, or socialism, and there's no getting around that fact that either we come together and we pull together and we look out for our neighbors and we talk to each other and we do those things that our founding fathers gave us the freedom to do, or we don't have a society anymore. Anyway, we're going to start getting this down. I'm still working on some lighting. Barbie's moving to California, so she's going to be producer Barbie remote. But I think we might be able to get her on camera this way. So with all of that said, you guys have a great weekend. Say hi to each other. Go out and say hi to somebody. Just wave at them, man. Start that way. Just wave at them. Every time you see them, wave at them. You don't know them. And then you'll see the reaction change, evolve. You'll see the body language evolve. Go out and say hi to a couple of people today. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for being here. I forgot to add myself to the stage. I'm having so much fun, and I'm not perfect, and it's going great. I mean, it's really going great. I wanted to come back on and thank everybody for the support, and please keep it coming. I'm starting to work on a marketing plan to attract advertisers, because the only thing that's not perfect yet is I can't pay my bills with what comes on, and I really want to pay off some big debt. That's another story. Like I said, it took me to have a motorcycle accident. These are all within like a year and a half, because something like that. Yeah, I was in every part of my body on the left side, every bone was broken. I was like in the hospital 3 months. I had a stroke, not at that same exact time, a little bit later. I had a mental collapse. That was before the stroke. And then the total collapse of my company. It finally took all of that to get through my thick skull that I need to make a change in my life. It wasn't an evolving thing. It was a automatic, like a whole, it was a wake up call, because I shouldn't be here on this earth. And I know that I started doing this to save my life, literally, mentally, and just happy, just being somebody that is satisfied with the work they're doing and really is experiencing true joy. I'm in a little bit over my 60th birthday. 62. I'm in June, so it's it's fascinating to me how this thing. Oh, hi, I didn't even advertise today. Hey guys, thanks for jumping on. Like I was saying earlier, I just want to thank everybody for this. We're going to start advertising. We're going to start opening advertising slots so that we can do this for the rest of my life, because it's become a mission, a movement, really. And I'm not saying that. My guests are coming on that say that, which we're booked. I don't have a show today. I'm opening up Mondays and Wednesdays. I mean, Mondays and Fridays, by the way, because everything else is just booked. And so I will be doing more, but we've got four or five shows next week. And the only reason I'm wanting to be able to get some support, some revenue stream. I'm not looking to make it rich. I'm doing this for the mission, but I have to be able to pay the rent, the lights, my own rent, a car payment. I've got two big old dogs you guys have seen every once in a while, so it's not a cheap thing. Every month, obviously. And now I no longer have a revenue stream coming in. My choice, because 2 weeks ago, I think I already told you, I jumped. That's a bad word. I canceled my last contract on my business, and went both feet head in on this, because I'm now addicted to it. I mean, I'm now. My hobby is now my work, and that's a wonderful thing to say. And you hear all these stories about what was the Harry Potter books? The lady, I think she was in lives in Ireland. She made it when she was like in her 70s. She was just me, regular, and then boom, she found her purpose. And boy, those were cool books, weren't they? I read every one of them. That's probably the most actual book reading that I've ever done, because it was just gripping. The scenery, the movies were okay, but the books were awesome. Who is it? Who's that lady? Oprah Winfrey. I think she, kind of the same thing. Later in life, became in the zone, so to speak. So, there's lessons to be had in everyday life. And that's what I love about the show so much, is because we get the opportunity to hear something new every day. And I believe, I'm biased, but I believe in an entertaining way. I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy learning, because I don't go into any of these as a prosecutor. I go in as, even not as a reporter kind of thing, but I want to know what this is about down to a level. And also, I know if I understand it, because the experts are the experts. So sometimes they get into conversation or words that are, in their comfort level, in their field, in their amongst their associates. So as a very common person, I know that if I understand and get the information that really is valuable out of each of these guests, if that happens for me, I'm the bottom line. I'm the catch net or whatever. If I understand something, everybody's going to understand it. And that's a real, when you're going into your, you don't want to get over obnoxious, but when you go into your day, you're an active. Oh, hello there. I'll get to you in a second, Jack. So when you go through these things, there was a thing that this song, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Pretty good song. I think it was 10 years old now or so. That's that's been making me stronger. I'm still working out, so that, that has helped for my body to stay together. I'm old, man, getting there. It's snowing outside. I just talked to my son though, and he wants me to come and do the show from Texas. I'm kind of excited about that. I've already talked to my other son, and he was calling, well, actually my granddaughter, his daughter, was calling me and come on, Grandpa, can't you do the show out here? And that's really one of the reasons I drive to do this, because in my machinery business, I was locked and stressed. It got worse and worse by the minute, right? Anyway, there was some embezzlement and there were some other things, and I didn't pay attention to the right things. And I'm a great salesman, but yeah, I'm here. This is where I belong. And so, those kind of things are really coming back to me with the family. And because when I got that message, I did a complete 180. I changed everything about me. Literally, my personality became different. And I don't mean that in a weird way. All of a sudden, I saw life differently. I became Barbie, producer Barbie. She's been with me along this whole ride for the last 20 years of it. Before that, 23 years with Deb, my children's mother. Great woman. She kept them together, and I'm able to come back into their life because I've always wanted to, and they didn't hold a grudge. And it wasn't like I was not involved. I was just I had two families at that point. Guys, I don't recommend that at all. I don't even want to get into that. So, incredible journey. How did you stay strong through all these challenges? Well, kind of what I just said also, but I started believing that my mission was not over, and God touched me. I'm not an overly zealous religious freak. No, I shouldn't say that. Zealous person. I'm very curious about things. I am Southern Baptist. You saw we had I forget the name. The Jewish faith, Avi. He was great, man. That dude was awesome. So that faith. I have a family of issues. So that faith has been a guiding light. And this show and Barbie have literally saved my life. And I'm not being over exaggerating there. I mean, literally have saved my life and has made me the happiest person I could ever be. I've never been happier outside my family. And like I said, my family life's totally better because I'm not authentic. I'm not being, I was JR, as Barbie puts it. That was my mask where I hid behind that and honed my skills and all of that. But always putting stuff in boxes and shaking them away. And whenever it got to be too much, I go write a book. I've written a couple. I haven't published any of them yet. Actually, this podcast is based on on the book I have sitting, waiting to get to an agent. I've got it's a nonfiction, so I've got the proposal already. I got to tweak a couple things on the marketing because this thing is just blown up. I haven't even been able to get back to querying my book because this is, hundreds of people every day, and it's so rewarding. I mean, I look for reasons to do a broadcast, to get out with my people, with my friends and with the people who are creating this movement. The guy was it yesterday? I think it was the guy yesterday. Literally has came on and was just commenting on the worldwide movement of my message, of this message, everybody's message, but not all podcasters are, that worldwide message. He literally said 3 or 4 times about it becoming a movement. And it seems like that from the numbers. I'm not blowing smoke up my own dress. I'm just saying this is mind boggling. This is I love marketing and I love talking. And someday I'll get paid for it. Someday I'll pay my bills. But right now, I've never been happier. I just absolutely love my life because I'm authentic. If I would have done this show, and I've done other shows like it, I have another show that I while I was in the industry, I would interview industry leaders, plastic industry leaders, and so I've done this before, but it's a different thing. It's really, really weird. Anyway, go into my show here. I got a couple more questions here. This wake up call for so many, what would you tell your past self? Well, that's a problem because I've been an alcoholic, a drug user for my entire life. I grew up in the military, went to 3 different high schools, 8 different elementary schools, just me and my sister. And we lived all over the world, more or less. My parents also, I lived with other family members when my mom and dad were over in, say, Okinawa. Or my sister was born in Hawaii. I was born in Seattle, Washington. I've lived in 9 states. No, I think like 4 states, but I've been to all of them. So, what I would tell my past self, I wouldn't have been JR if I knew what that was going to become. I would tell my past self to believe in yourself, to mental illness is real. It's a very real thing. And fortunately, I've had some guides. I've had people in my life that I don't deserve to have them in my life, but it has become something that they deserve me in their life. But I've had people in my life that, loved me and a lot of times didn't like me. I look back on it, here, I would tell my younger self to keep looking back and being honest about how people are perceiving you, because I never had any idea that I was I was such a basket case, I was humming and moving. I was doing our company $3 to $5 million a year, and but I was miserable as hell, and I was having to run it. I just wanted to sell. I hired people to do the other stuff. It was miserable. So, what would I tell my past self? Keep looking, keep open, keep acknowledging who you are. I would listen to Jack. I would listen to the show I did a couple shows ago with Rabbi Avi, because he talks about life, religion, everything is a conflict, and you can't have any more forward movement unless there's a conflict. And then you create the answer or the solving, the fixing of that through mediation, not through mediation, whatever. So he approaches his 9-to-5 job, I think, as mediation through religion. He literally says that God, that religion is a conflict because we're always conflicting with God. What a beautiful thing to say, man. The rich information that is being given on the show. And again, I'm biased, but I like to say it's very interesting. Oh, wow. So anyway, that's it. I don't really have anything else for you. I just wanted to say thank you, everybody. And I wanted to be able to show that appreciation. I wanted to be able, I like being with you guys, man. Your support, what we're conversing about every day is my hobby is my job now. It's awesome. That is something you always hear about and then always wonder about, but most people don't do that. What's the old saying? Find something you love to do and make it into a job. It took me 60 some odd years to do that. And you know what's funny is I went to college. I went for theater and I went for business. And I ended up taking the safe one, the business. I'm sure this is not a unusual story, but anyway, I would say also, getting back to your this is a wake up call. I would say also that take your time and be honest with yourself early on what you want out of life. I mean, at that point, your personality is pretty good, and you don't want what everybody else wants or what makes you. I used to be in the theater, and I as a matter of fact, I stopped acting because I was so insecure about my voice. I did a lot of musicals, not a lot. I did some musicals. I was in Fiddler on the Roof and a couple other things, but I just didn't have the confidence in myself to be judged. And that's, when you're modeling, when you're acting, when you're doing any of that things, they're looking at you to fit into a certain role. It's not pretty a lot because you don't always fit into that physical space. So anyway, I started there and then I took the easy way out and I went into business. Well, I started in sales and then I worked my way up and started a company and so forth. Okay, so we got something else here. What's this? What is the first step you took after realizing you needed a change? I went to my doctor and asked for some help. I went to producer Barbie and asked for help and started talking to some people that are professionals in that range. And there was a period of time right at the collapse, right at the collapse, not the business, but me. There was at that very time, there was a we'll save that for another story, guys. The step after realizing you needed to change is action, is go to your support structure. I don't want to sound like a mimby nimby, as my dad used to say. He was a military man. That was always a funny. And his other one was, you want to get froggy? You want to leap? That was funny. Anyway, we need to understand when to stop now. And I don't get that yet because I should have stopped talking 5 minutes ago, but anything else? Anybody got anything else to say? I'm going to get back to work. I'm Mondays and Wednesdays. Keep saying that. Mondays and Fridays have always been promotion days. I'm a one-man band here. So I do all, well, I get a little bit of help from some 1099 sales people, but just, yeah. So I do all the production. I do all the post-production, pre-production, the guests. I have now, and what I was going to say is I do have now a sort of podcast manager who we have an agreement, and really like the guy. And so that's it. I'm going out. Let's see what after you write. Okay. So thanks again. I'm just mumbling now as does happen sometimes. So I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it, guys. Love you. Like I always say, go say hi to somebody, create a vibe that, let's change the world together, join the conversation, continue this movement. I'm out.